tether.
Bridge, nav. One more step, please.
Holy moly. Oh. No.
Starts and stops. Got a nice sea cucumber on the bottom there. Not a rock. Hey, Jamie.
Yes.
So this is not related to our coral conundrum that we've been thinking about, but I was going through
Bridge,
some
nav.
of the...
One more step, please.
I was going through some of the NOAA guides for benthic deepwater animal ID, and I found the sea cucumber that we were looking at that we thought kind of looked like a sea pig, but not.
Oh, awesome. What is it?
And so it is called the common name would be a tulip, but it was Peniagone
Oh,
was the name. So let me
Peniagone.
bring it back up again. And it was part of the Elasipodidae, if I'm saying that right.
Yes, the Elasipodidae.
Legendary.
Elpidiidae Peniagone species tulip.
Try that again.
No.
Oh, Padilla day, Padona day to day. To you too.
Day to day to day. Elpidiidae. Too many eyes.
Yeah, so that was cool when we came across that cluster of 5 or so
Yeah.
all sitting on the sediment.
Yeah, and so I knew that it was the one we were looking at because of in the coral or in the sea cucumber
one.
ID guide, they're perched the same way they were on the seafloor.
The small one above the big one?
Another Metallogorgia coral.
Can we get a zoom where the lasers are right now?
Bridge,
Go ahead.
nav.
Coming in.
One more step, please.
It looks less encrusted with manganese, doesn't it? Think you can try that one?
Yep, full wide.
Bridge,
Get in
nav.
there quick. Yeah, stop.
Hold position, please.
That was a nice view.
This is gonna be the one.
Fingers crossed.
It looks promising.
No whammies, no whammies, no whammies.
So this one looks like it could have fallen from above somewhere because it's laying on the heavily encrusted
Everybody is doing this stupid Svanson grip with the arm now.
They were talking about your grip, actually.
This
when
is
they
the
were-
Yeah, they-
regular grip.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Now, what is this?
Contrarians.
We're taking a 20-meter step back. Try to slow the swing of Argus a little bit.
Okay, I'll keep an eye on
You want to
stuff.
zoom on that first? Can I just grab it?
Just grab it. We'll see if it's loose or not, and then we'll do a spin. If it is.
Oh,
That was easy. Woohoo!
Triumph.
All right.
For my master's, I analyzed 80,000 still images of lava flows.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I would
Wow.
say my eye
Brittle
is trained.
star bonus.
Wow.
I don't like
Steve,
the
so
look
you
of
got
it.
a
Toss
little,
it.
little ways to go to
Yeah,
train
I
up.
mean, you could have told me that before. I suggested one.
Nav, can you drop a target since we're backing up?
Yep, I got one down.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh,
Full
look
wide
at
off there.
you.
This is 5-0.
It is. This is the big
Yes.
5-0,
Yes.
guys.
All right, we earned the
Amazing.
five
Where's
zero.
this rock going, guys?
we earned that
So
5-0.
it doesn't look too big. Let's see. Could we fit it in starboard C?
Yep.
It's a little oxidized, but
Show me the arm with the bubble cam.
Yep.
Just gonna hold here and reposition Herc. Getting a bit far away there.
So there's some floaties in the box, so Steve is saying be careful.
Okay.
Nav, about how far down from the peak are we?
Let us see. We are, if I can count,
Okay.
35 or 40 meters.
Okay, thanks.
Sorry, which compartment are we going into? C?
Starboard C.
All right, you can open that up.
Yeah, it's going to be a little floaty, so do you want me to wait a second for you to get over there?
Yep.
Okay, coming out. Oh my gosh, why do I keep hitting to tray out?
Just as much as you need to, that's good.
Okay.
Whoa. That would have been great.
might have had some tears back here.
Thank you for not making Allison cry.
Ship and Argus are about
Yes.
steadied up. We could launch a search and rescue mission.
It's in.
Yeah, so I think,
Push that out again. I hit the wrong
Chris,
Yeah,
I think they put in
so I'll get that.
waypoint.
You do it.
Yeah, I got you.
So if you think you push it out,
Yeah.
you got to push it. You got to put it back in right away.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Even if you can't see it, there's no harm pushing it in.
Yeah, I just wanted to get the other box open for you. But I got you. I won't have any.
So there's a 5 and a 5.1.
Yes. Which one? Go through 5 to 5.1?
Yeah. Let's just go straight to 5.
Okay. You want to jump off the edge here and down into the saddle?
We want to take the fastest route.
Oh, roger that.
Okay.
Now that we got our rock.
I'll be tracking a line then, 0.5 knots.
Sounds good.
Let me just get selected
The
on
bubble over the porch,
Yep.
please.
0.5. Bridge nav. Request we track a line bearing 305 at 0.5 knots.
You can turn Argus around too, and we'll
Thank you.
follow out that way with the ship.
I believe that's the most excited I've been to find a rock.
That did feel pretty good, and I had nothing to do with it.
Yes, you did.
Your moral support, very important.
Oh, thank you.
So
You know what? I did
heading-
have a big part of that.
Are we heading to the base of the plateau or another cone?
We're heading towards the plateau now.
Okay.
And I also got a pronunciation from Steve on that sea cucumber. It is penny agony is the pronunciation of that. Not pianagone, what I was trying to say. Penny agony.
I feel like yours sounded like what I probably would have tried to say.
Yours sounds like a flower way. He sounds just kind of terrifying.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like a Stephen King character.
Yes, it does. Ooh, if Pennywise was
Yeah,
the clown,
exactly.
what's Penny agony? Oh, jeez. So, Chris, about how long till we get to our the spot we're booking it to?
So we're coming up to speed right now. We're going to have to slow down from this 0.5 as we go up slope a little bit, so it's a little variable.
Gotcha.
But as the crow flies, we're looking at a little under 1,150 meters.
It's a bit.
So it's going to be a while,
A little bit.
but I'm sure there will be plenty to see in between once we get over there.
Yeah, and so this is also a good time to send in questions you might have. Again, it's going to look like blue water, but we are not ascending or descending right now. We are getting to our next point just below this plateau of Dragon's Back Seamount here south of Palmyra Atoll. Is it atoll or atoll? Am I saying it wrong?
Tomato, tomato?
Tomato, tomato, I'd say.
Cool.
I've been hearing atoll.
I've
don't-
never known.
I don't even
avoid
know what I'm
it.
saying anymore. I feel like I've said it both ways.
I know what you mean when you say it, though, so.
Well, that's what matters, right? So again, you can send in questions below the live feed on nautiluslive.org. There's that little white rectangle below the feed where you can send in your questions, and we'll do our best to answer them as we're exploring the Pacific right now.
Some of my friends asked me where we were right now, so I told them the middle of the Pacific. And they said, no, like, seriously, where are you? I sent them a point on the map, and they went, oh. Got it.
Got 'em.
Very remote location, isn't it?
And so the first dive of this leg of the expedition was another area contained within Pacific Remote Islands Marine National Monument, an area called Kingman Reef, and we dove on the deep waters off of Kingman Reef. And this is our second dive on Palmyra Atoll, third dive of this cruise.
Looks like we're approaching one of these watches' favorites.
Some beautiful ripple marks.
Ripples.
Ripley sediment.
Pull up my handy ripple guide.
Believe it or not.
Very
See what you
nice.
did there?
Oh, I get it.
Everybody on the same page?
A little slow.
What would we say the visibility of this area is?
Good.
Pretty good, right?
Yeah,
it's
pretty
very
excellent.
Yeah. If you view from the Argus cam, we have a really nice view of above Hercules and the greater context of the area that we're in. And just a reminder that these areas are normally under complete darkness, and so we are bringing the light to these areas. And we're seeing, as far as our light allows us to see, these little tracks that we're following on these really large formations.
You can see some nice catenary ripples in the Argus view.
Remind us what that means again?
Those are the crossed laminae ones that are curvy but have a unidirectional swoop.
Ah, I see that over to the sort of right of Hercules.
Mm-hmm.
I know we take quite a few different measurements of things around the area, but do we ever monitor radiation levels?
We have on Nautilus. It's not something that we do on a regular basis.
Got it. So that would be a special piece of equipment that would be added to...
Yeah, when we've done it before, it was more looking at things that might have come up off of something that at one point, so when we dove on the Independence, it was part of the Bikini Atoll.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and so it was scuttled off San Francisco, and so we had a Geiger counter on board. We knew that it was very, very low chance of any radiation, but just as precaution, we had a Geiger counter on board to pass over the vehicle and any samples that came up, and as we expected, there was no sign.
Got it.
Of radiation.
Cool.
Hey, Kevin, I got a quick rock question for you.
Yeah.
So, to get these rocks back to where you can work on them, this might sound stupid, but is there like a science shipping company, or do you just shove them in your suitcase?
Well, neither. I mean, we ship them, but you can just ship them using probably, I don't know what Nautilus uses, either FedEx or UPS or
Yep.
DHL.
Yeah, pick your favorite carrier.
Cool.
The
Yeah.
key thing is you just tell them they're dry and sterilized and they don't contain soil, which
Yeah.
they don't, and it should get through customs.
Oh.
For these rocks, they'll probably send them straight to University of Rhode Island, and then I will contact the curator there and put in a sample request and have them ship them to me.
Cool.
Yeah, we just put them in a cardboard box and wrap them in bubble wrap so that they don't fracture, and then you literally take a box of rocks to drop off for shipping.
And say sorry.
Yeah.
Exactly. You stuff as many as you can in the flat, right?
Well, we try to watch our weight limit, so sometimes it needs to be spread out over multiple boxes, even if they could fit all into one box.
Yeah, I remember at the end of the Papahanaumokuakea cruise, there was a lot of rocks.
We collected, I want to say it was like 900 pounds
Yeah,
of rocks.
that sounds about right.
How many boxes did you guys make?
I don't know.
I
we
think just
sent them.
Andrea's
I'm so
samples when we
curious.
sent them from Hawaii to Oregon were like 5 boxes of
Yeah,
samples.
yeah. Oftentimes we just put them on a pallet and ship a pallet.
Okay.
But they'll stay on the ship until we get back to mainland U.S. So we're not flying rocks all over the world.
Yeah, and those green dots that you're seeing in the middle of the screen are our lasers that give us scale down here in the deep sea. Each of those green dots is 10 centimeters from one another. So there's 10 centimeters between the two dots, and that allows us, when we're taking still images of things, to have a scale, also just give us perspective as we're flying through this area. And do we know at what distance the laser beams converge?
Okay.
It's a question we're getting here.
They're always 10 centimeters apart.
So they're never, like, if it is far off in the distance, we wouldn't know.
Yeah, the only way they work is that they're completely parallel.
Gotcha.
So They're always
Totally.
10 centimeters apart wherever they land.
So
Got
just
it.
perspective that makes them look.
Converging.
Yep.
Yeah, they might look, if we could see super, super far, it might look like they converge,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't.
I remember once we could see them in the bubble cam, and you could definitely see how they were parallel from that.
Yeah, I
like
think
on
just
top of 'em,
when it's
but-
in like, you know, the bluish water areas or kind of far out, they do kind of look like they converge, but it's not happening in reality.
Okay.
We gonna get one of these rods? No.
Just like looking down a railroad track, right?
I'm treating it
Yeah.
like it's an obstacle course. Practice some piloting through it.
Yeah, Kylie.
I'm gonna do a little off-roading.
Thank you.
Little fish.
Oh yeah.
Where? Oh, there he is. Let's see.
Can we zoom on that fish?
We sure can. Let me get set up. All right, video zoom, please.
Coming in. Coming in more. And creeping out.
Oops, sorry. Oops. Come wide, please.
Coming wide.
Sorry, I was trying to line it up better.
Pull wide.
Thank you.
Looks like another coral there. Can't quite see if it's...
Metallogorgia, I think.
I couldn't tell if it was spiral or not.
I didn't see a spiral, but I'm not totally sure.
All right.
And these lasers are quite strong, so we do avoid getting them into, you know, eyes of animals down here. But the lights from our vehicles in general are going to be quite different for what these fish are used to.
Around that fat rock. And hard right. Mhm. Wow. So, not much in Argus cam, huh?
Nope.
It's like a desert. A really wet desert.
Plenty of ripples. That's what we got.
Cat in there ripples to the right. Cat in there ripples to the left.
A little star down there at the bottom of the screen.
Oh yeah, let's take a gander. One moment. Video zoom.
Coming in.
Sorry, overcorrected.
And a tiny urchin to the right.
Oh yeah.
Come wide.
Coming wide.
Yes, of course.
Pull wide.
Thank you.
So this area we were referring to as Dragon's Back Seamount because it sort of had different peaks that, you know, got gradually higher with these saddle areas in between. And so we've gone over 3 of those peaks, correct? There was 3 of them that we've...
Yes.
Yeah. And we're heading up towards a plateau, which is at the top of this Dragon's Back. And I know it's
I don't know what the good one is.
it's getting late for people in the U.S., but you know, send in your questions. We're still hanging out. We've still got hours on this dive. About how many hours left do we think we've got on this dive?
We are going to go until, we're going to have the vehicles back on deck at 4 a.m. local time.
Got it. So about another 10 hours of water?
Probably about 8. It's 6 now, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So we'll probably come off the bottom.
Got it.
2, a little bit after 2, probably.
Mm-hmm. So plenty of time to continue exploring with us. And we may be in a very sediment-heavy area right now, but at the beginning of our watch, we came across a lot of really large corals, some denser communities. So if you want to rewind on that live feed and check that out, if you missed it, you can rewind up to 12 hours on that live feed. And in just a few days, these full dive recordings will be available on the Nautilus Live YouTube channel. Also on that YouTube channel are highlight videos, so some of the extra special moments from our dives. And we've got a big catalog on that YouTube page, some really, really cool, interesting videos from all over the place. So be sure to check that out. Personal favorite of mine are the brine pools.
Next time we see one, go get a zoom on one of the small stock structures.
Like this one coming up?
I think so.
Okay. Okay, video zoom. Oh, hold on, actually, don't do that yet. Let me get a little closer. Okay, try zooming now.
Coming in.
Oops.
Creeping wider.
Thanks, actually. Come full wide.
Full wide.
Let me get in a good spot and we'll find better ones. Sorry about that, Jamie.
So another one right there on the right.
I want to get ahead a little bit so that I have time to do it. Otherwise, I'll keep falling under.
True.
Okay. Coming, hold on.
Looks like an urchin.
Okay, video zoom.
Coming in.
Got a nice urchin here. Do we think purple or dark colored?
I'd say purple is a
Dark
good-
purple?
Dark purple, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Midnight violet.
Come wide.
Beautiful description.
Thank you. Go
Full
for
wide.
Thank you.
the Crayola colors.
You have your box out, like looking
Yeah.
at the the label on the back.
Holding them up to the screen, comparing. Got that 96 set of crayons.
You don't got the 128?
There's a 128.
Of course there is.
It goes even higher.
Oh yeah.
I think it's
356.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you really want to flex on everyone in kindergarten.
Yeah.
Exponential.
Can a kindergarten even carry that many crayons?
That's what I was wondering.
It's the only thing in your backpack.
Yeah.
Video zoom.
Coming in.
Oh my
I think
goodness.
these are small C-pins.
Sorry.
What do you think,
Couple
Al?
wide.
I was just gonna say that because
Awesome.
their base is in the sediment
Is
here.
that a little fish there?
Yes.
I think so. Let us investigate. Okay, video zoom.
Coming in.
Oh my gosh. Struggle is real today. Okay, thank you.
Coming wide.
Sorry about that, I lost him.
It looked like one of those tripod fish with a bunch of whiskers.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that. And so the biological samples that get taken on these dives are typically invertebrates. I think that's all that we've collected so far on this cruise. And so they don't have air sacs in their bodies the same way that some vertebrates do. And so the air sacs is one of the things that causes damage to animals as they're being brought up through the pressure change. Because here in the deep water, there's a lot of water on top of us, and that pressure is, lessened as it comes up through the water column, which means that gases in air pockets will expand. But again, the invertebrates that we're collecting don't have those larger air pockets. But I think it was during this morning's watch that Jamie gave us a pretty cool rundown of some of the ways that the pressure change can affect the cellular and genetic level of our specimens.
You're really in there, aren't you?
Another little sea pen.
Coming water.
Thank you. It's like I'm getting my Herc legs. Jeez. Okay. Oh, wrong way.
So we had a shore scientist write in that the little C-pins we've been zooming in on, the tiny stalks, are in the group pinnatulations. So thanks, Meredith. She's the one that receives all of our eDNA samples and processes those to see what's around.
Nice work there, Jamie.
Do you say pinnatulations?
Yes, pinnatulations.
Penna?
That is a cool Argus shot. We don't often have that much shadowing and like light in all the directions.
Yes, it was penna. Penna.
Penna.
Ooh, and Meredith Everett just wrote in a deep sea fish fact for us. Which is that some deep sea fish, instead of having a gas-filled swim bladder, they have something filled with lipids or oils.
Ah. So I guess that alleviates that issue of moving up and down through the water column and gas expansion.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Chris, did you mention that the other day? Something
I
about
think
that?
you did.
Yeah. I think it was similarly based on the pressure change question.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff.
Video zoom.
Coming in.
Is that a cucumber?
Yes, it is.
Very
a very frilly. That is a
And
good
these-
descriptive word.
Oh, thank you. And I was spending a little bit of time on the on the sea cucumber guides. So these
Let's try
sea
that again,
cucumbers with the
Coming back in again.
frilly bits are likely a group Synallactidae or Synallactida. Synallactids.
Coming wider.
Do you think
Thank you.
that dark purple one we saw either this dive or a previous dive, I can't remember, with the only like 5 or so protrusions on top was in the same group, or does that group only include ones that have multiple frilly bits?
No, I think that dark one was also part of that group.
Cool.
Yeah, there's some that have a lot of the frilly bits, and some that have less so. And even the ones without the frills that are more smooth are also part of Synallactids. But the Peniagony is part of a different group that I forget the name of right now. But it begins with an E.
Alright, the ship's starting to get a little more over the bigger topography change. Do you guys want to come down to 0.2 or 0.3 knots so we can step up this? Roger that. Bridge nav. Request we hold position.
Elliptidae is the larger group, the family that the Peniagony
Ah.
are in.
And it looks like we've got another sea cucumber
Video
with a pretty
zoom.
skirt.
Coming in.
And a fish.
Twofer.
Give it back.
Coming wider.
And the sea cucumber looks like one of the kinds that
Oh,
lifts
and a
off and
fish.
swims.
Yes, it does.
Okay. You want to try coming tight on that again, Steven?
Sure. Coming in.
I didn't know which one. Which guy? What thing do you guys want more?
Let's look at the fish.
Okay.
Sea cucumber's taken off. We've seen a lot of that. There it goes.
Oh, and he's pooping. Just give him his privacy.
So
Is he smiling at us?
that looks like probably a halosaur.
Yep.
You know when they put teeth on dogs? Looks like he has teeth.
What do you
I
mean?
think that's just
Like
a
Photoshop
lighter.
Like
pictures
human
of-
teeth on dogs?
That's
Human
just a
teeth.
lighter patch of the fish's jaw.
Oh,
Yes, and
I gotta go.
Kylie's referring to
Coming wide.
pictures where human teeth are put on pictures of dogs, not real life,
Thank you for that
like
clarification.
eldritch nightmares.
I want this guy to move out of my way.
Or
Wow.
he's using like both ends to fly.
Let me just...
Is this the tulip that we were talking about?
No.
No. Okay.
It's a different kind, but
Oh yeah, I
um,
remember now. That,
the
yeah.
way it looks, it might be in that group. And Jamie, I'm actually looking at the guides here, and I think I was mistaken about the sea cucumber with the less of the frills. I'm actually seeing a picture of a similar specimen in the different group in the Elaspodia group.
Okay, good to know. Coming up on some rocky patch in the Argus view.
And the fish that we're seeing do have eyes down here. Now, again, the light that is illuminating our view is from the vehicles. But even though there's not any sunlight reaching these depths, there are animals down here that use bioluminescence, including some other fish and other deep sea animals. And so there is still use for some eyes down here in the deep sea.
So is this, do you think, the base of the plateau?
I don't know. Can you zoom out on the map, Chris?
Yes,
Thank
we
you.
are starting to go up.
Yeah, definitely we're at the base of it.
Very nice. Are you going to be looking for rocks from this area as well, Kevin?
Yeah, I'm going to try to grab 1 or 2 on the way up to waypoint 5.
So, Steve, you got another chance to keep your eye out for these good rocks. Practice makes perfect.
Allison, how many images did you say? Did you say 80,000?
8. Yes, I did.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. They figured out how to automate it at this point, but at the time,
Allison was the automation.
and I did some of that, but human eye's always better.
Well,
Sure, yeah.
But
that automation isn't helping us right now, is it?
Oh, you want me to turn that switch on?
Rock switching, I've been fighting that technology, trying to take my job.
Robots coming
Fair
for
enough, there's
Kevin's
robot
job.
submersibles taking my job.
Soon there's going to be robots acid leaching and radiating rocks.
Actually, I wouldn't mind that. That sounds pretty good.
If you kind of put the rock in the beginning and it did it all. Came out with a slip of paper with the age.
Imagine your eyes would just gloss over after that many rocks. How do you, I don't know. What trick do you use for, I know we want angular, right? And then what other than that?
part of it too is just kind of understanding the regional area. So just looking at the broader lava flows and kind of knowing how they formed and how they were put in place.
Right.
So then you kind of know which ones are likely to break off rocks. So you can look for collapsed areas. Where you see those solid pillow mounds, probably less likely to find something that you're going to be able to break off.
Right, I see.
And on that last rock that we got, you had said that it was on top of a rock that looked encrusted. So it sort of gave you that hint that it had fallen onto it.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, it's kind of a, it's called relative dating in geology. In geology.
Yes.
So, it's you can see something that was heavily sedimented and something that looked quite a bit younger on top of it. So you know that whatever happened to put that rock in place on top of the older one was an event that happened.
Right. Thank you.
All right, we'll get moving in a second. Checked our swing. Gonna start creeping up at 0.2 knots while we look for a sample.
And if you're looking at that quad view and you see the screen from where Chris is taking a look at that, the ship is the pink polygon there, and it is scooting sideways to, allow us to move along the seafloor here. And again, it's moving using, and is it called dynamic positioning?
Yes. Or just DP if that's a mouthful.
DP or dynamic positioning. And if you check out Argus view, you can see a shot of above Hercules. Again, getting a larger context of the area. It's cool to look at both of those views so you can see what we're seeing right in front of Hercules, but then also get an idea of the area. And also the scale of these areas, because Hercules, at least on the scale of human beings, is quite a big piece of machinery. But down here, it looks itty-bitty in some of these views. And something to remember as we're on these seamounts, this term seamounts that we're talking about is underwater mountains. So if you can, imagine mountain ranges near you, and then picture thousands of meters of water on top of it, that's the kinds of areas that we're exploring. And we are moving up towards the plateau of this Dragon's Back seamount. We have gone up 3 smaller peaks, collecting rock samples along the way. And now we're heading up from the base of this plateau, again looking for rock samples and also getting an idea of the biological diversity of the area.
Fish up top.
Like a fish. Some sponges, possibly, or are those just sediment spots?
Sediment, I think. Zoom in.
Yeah, that one definitely looks like sediment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought maybe that circle to the right there was a sponge, but again, it just looks like
Okay, full wide.
something on the rock.
Or a sand dollar,
Yeah, kind of. There's that.
Oh, there's a fish in the top left corner, just off screen.
Oh yeah.
Hey.
Okay, zoom in.
Coming in.
Another type of rat tail fish.
On the rocks there.
Coming wider.
I'm gonna lose him anyway.
Full wide.
Looks like a coral over to, or maybe a crinoid over to the left. And we've got some folks wondering at home if we could do a quick round of introductions again to get names to voices. So if you have the opportunity to say your name and what you're doing, I think that our audience would appreciate it. I'll start off. My name is Al Leszczynski, and I am a Science Communication Fellow for this watch.
My name is Stephen Matter, and I am the video engineer on this watch.
Featuring this again.
My name is Kylie Pasternak. I'm in the Argus chair. Mike just let me fly Herc for a couple minutes there, and I am on this watch.
I'm not doing it.
We'll see how you
Michael
feel
had
about
Mike
it.
puts his foot down.
Yeah, that's right. In the Herc chair.
For this watch or other watches too?
Sometimes other watches.
Oh.
What about on this cruise? Are you, what are you, is it this one?
Yeah, this one.
Chris Jakes, navigator, on this and only this watch.
Hey,
Kevin Conrad, guest geologist on this watch.
hey.
Allison Bundus, watch lead.
Period.
Oh, it
Right.
stopped.
Jamie Wagner, data logger.
Wow. All right, feeling like the loyalty's fading.
Off watch. I am also the science manager, one of 2 science managers on board.
Yes.
As soon as we come up with a good name for this watch, everybody's gonna
Is
want to say
that-
they're on it.
Is that a loose rock?
It does look like a loose rock.
A big
Very
loose rock, though.
About the size of Hercules.
Pretty large.
I'm just practicing my loose rock skills for later.
What about the one above it?
They're excellent already.
That doesn't look loose.
You think too big for that small one?
Yeah.
What are you looking at? Do you want something?
Maybe that one right in the
pretty-
middle of the 2 flows north of the lasers.
Very-
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
Uh,
north of the lasers?
Yep.
You think that's loose?
I'm not exactly sure. Can we get a zoom on it?
Zoom in, please.
Coming in.
I think we should try. I'm going to say no.
Nah, I don't think so. Thank you.
The
Come
Argus view is very cool.
Coming wide.
It is.
Roger.
Ooh, beautiful.
With the sediment, it's got like the little veins coming down.
Yeah, with these veins and cracks have been formed during cooling.
Not so much what we traditionally call veins. So in volcanoes, veins often refer to something that is more or in geology, veins would be something that is flown.
Intrusive
Words,
fluid.
thank you.
Yeah. So you have lava flows, and then you have something that cross-cuts it.
Gotcha,
That'll be a
gotcha.
vein. In this case, it looks just like different flows
Yeah.
kind of stacked next to each other, so there's gaps in between them. And
And the sediments filled it in
Yeah.
for contrast.
So these probably started as like big pillows or something at the top and just became elongated as they moved down the slope. So the
Got it.
slope is, or the gravity's pulling them.
Let
slope.
me reintroduce myself. Chris Jakes, navigator, definitely not a geologist.
But we're all learning together.
Yeah.
what's important is you're on this watch.
Hey.
I am on this watch.
So yeah, a reminder, the view that we're talking about is from Argus, which is what Hercules is tethered to, and then Argus is tethered directly to the ship. So if you check out quad view, you can see Hercules cam, Argus cam, and another screen.
That's actually the DP I threw up when we were talking about it.
Ah,
I think that's the DP.
the
Chris-
dynamic positioning.
Yeah,
So
that
the
is-
dark and gray one is DP,
Yes.
Yep.
and then the colorful, kind of muted rainbow is high pack, our mapping.
Yeah.
That's
So in
not on
quad view, we've got the dynamic positioning right now, along with Herc view and Argus view. And when it switches back to, or if it switches back to the more colorful screen, that would be, what did you call that? High pack?
High pack, HYPACK.
Does that stand for something?
Software brand.
Ah.
Yes.
So Chris, am I right in thinking that the DP also keeps us in a certain heading that generally is into the swell of the ocean?
Yes, it is usually the predominant force affecting the ship. Sometimes it's current. If winds are light like they are currently, they're about 2.5, 3 knots. If wind gets stronger and that's what's pushing the ship around, then it'll go for the position of least resistance and try to head into that force.
Huh.
Very dynamic.
They want the ship being the only thing moving the ship around instead of nature pushing us where it wills.
As it tends to do.
It does a lot, but we try our best.
And it doesn't use the main motor of the ship to move?
No. It uses our bow thruster up in the front of the ship and a jet pump under the stern towards the back of the ship.
Very cool. And to our viewers at home, if you're watching right now, you too are on this watch. You are our citizen scientist joining us on this watch. So
Our people.
they're asking if they can be on the watch with us.
You
And
You know
I'm
what?
saying,
They can. We're going to be down a Herc pilot, so yeah.
what does that mean? That was ominous.
He doesn't want to be on our watch.
You just made everybody like
Well,
He
Ron
doesn't
will be
want
occupied.
He doesn't want to be with us. We're going to
still
need a replacement.
Sounds like Penny Agony is coming back.
My dog's name is Penny, so I feel like, yeah.
It's still Canada Day, you know. Is it?
Yeah.
I have no idea what
We'll
time
give
or
him
space it
the
is.
pass for Canada Day.
Yeah.
Well, actually, if you think about it, I'm pretty sure in Nova Scotia it's no longer Canada Day.
No.
Maybe not, yeah.
What time is it now here? It's still on the west coast.
I mean, it's
Eight.
still, yeah, it's still Canada Day on
so
the
it's
ship.
not. So Newfoundland's out, and Trevor. So I'm out. Trevor's still good.
Those are some interesting
Yeah.
little structures coming up. The darker edges of small flows or something. I am not a geologist,
Well, you could be on this watch.
but I play one on this watch. No, I have two qualified geologists sitting next to me, so I don't need to do that.
And if you're looking at quad view, the high pack is back up. And you can see that well, it's kind of zoomed in right now, but we're approaching the plateau of this area. Oh, thank you, Chris. So we're coming up along the base of this final part of Dragon's Back Seamount.
Dun dun dun.
Exactly.
Back row. We're just doing 0.2 now. We're comfortable to do 0.3.
I'm
Yeah.
comfortable with 0.3.
If that gives you enough time to stop and sample,
Yep, should be good.
well, let's
for the
do
time
it.
being.
Alrighty. Bridge nav. Request we increase speed to 0.3 knots. Thank you.
So Mike, we might have a better chance of finding something loose if you get on closer to the edge of this big kind of
Yeah.
runway that you're on.
Yeah, we're driving over that way.
Cool.
Again, Argus view, very cool. And Kevin, correct me if I am misremembering here, but you had mentioned that this area is likely Cretaceous age,
Correct.
so about 70.
I would say 70 million plus
million?
minus 5.
Got it.
this direct seamount or everything we sampled today hasn't been sampled previously?